Hey folks, Bible Thumping Wingnut here. Last night did a Google Hangout with some Christian brothers and had a non-believer by the name of Andy Jack join us. And normally I do not edit videos at all, especially Hangouts. I don't want to be dishonest or hide anything, but in our Hangout last night, some of us, including myself, didn't respond the way we should. We did not act like Christians all the time, and for that I am sorry. Matthew 4:19 has expressed sorrow over some of the things that he said, and I would rather not put that on my channel. So hopefully Andy will forgive us, and you'll find something useful in this Hangout in the edited version. There is a lot to edit out because there was a lot of talking over each other and a lot of interrupting. So I'm going to try to edit it in such a way that we take out all the parts of repeating ourselves and interrupting each other, and actually listen to the arguments as they're given by each side. What I should do, looking back at the Hangout, there was some good things. There was some edifying things. There was some good exchanges between Andy Jack and some of the panelists. So what I want to do is edit it and put it out there for you to view. So that's what I've done here. This is just the first portion of it. The Hangout itself was 3 hours long. This is the first 10 minutes or so, the introduction of the Hangout, and Andrew Rappaport engaging with Andy Jack.
All right, we are live. This is the Bible Thumping Wingnut Show, impromptu, ahead of schedule. Actually, like 8, 9, 10, 11, 3.5 hours, 2.5 hours ahead of schedule. I don't know. I was trying to put something together for later tonight, and then Andy Jack was actually the person that I wanted to speak to tonight, and he's been asking to speak to me for a while, and we were going to do that later tonight, but then Andy reminded me it's like 4:30 in the morning at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time here, 4:30 in the morning where he lives. And so I've got with me this evening Matthew 4:19, Jason Peterson, and Andrew Rappaport, and now Andy Jack. And I think Matthew 4:19 and myself are the only ones who know who you are. The other two gentlemen have actually no clue, except I told them that Andy is a person who claims to be a former Christian who no longer is claiming to be a Christian. So that being said, that pretty much wraps up what we're here for. So, Andy, you and I had a short Skype conversation before, just kind of like, hey, what's going on, and when can we do something like this? Other than that, I've never really talked to you. So, how are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good.
How long have you been on YouTube?
I think I first started my YouTube career, I think it was back in 2006, 2007.
Wow. I came across you probably a few months ago when you were talking to people like DPR Jones and Negation of P, and I watched some of your videos, and at that time you were talking and debating and putting forth that you're a Christian.
Yeah.
And how did that go? What was your purpose with that? I mean, you were like involved in all kinds of debates and discussions.
Yeah, I was kind of debating since 2006, 2007 with people like Aaron Ra and DPR Jones, some of the the heavyweights of the atheistic community on YouTube. Yeah, I had some interesting run-ins with those guys. I think they spoke a lot of sense. It appears to me a lot of sense. Now it appears they speak more sense, especially from science. when you're talking science and reality and things like that, I think they do speak how it is. And I think we need to take notice of that, because the world does operate by empirical evidence, and that's what we have to base our judgments on, is evidence.
Well, how long were you a professing Christian?
Since the age of about 14 years of age, and I'm 48 now.
So
over 30 years.
So over 30 years, and you read the Bible many times during that time, right?
Yeah, I've read it cover to cover several times, pretty much. Done Bible studies, Bible group every Thursday evening, pray every day, read the Bible every day, make videos on various channels, 2 or 3 videos a week, research, study, that kind of thing, you know. Yeah, and that's what I used to do, pretty much.
The thing, I've been watching you, and I'm really baffled, because you claim to be a Christian for 30 plus years, read the Bible cover to cover, and it seems that the arguments that you're putting forward now against Christianity are that God is a monster to do horrible things in the Old Testament, and anybody who believes donkeys talked and a snake talked are nuts and not worth your time to talk to. And right now you're in a room with 4 Christians who believe donkey talked and a snake talked. And I just wonder. I'm just wondering. I mean, how can you be a Christian for 30 years and not? I mean, did you not believe those things when you were a Christian?
I struggle to believe that kind of thing, to be honest, but I made myself, I really did, I tried to make myself believe that snakes talked, donkeys talked, we were created on the 6th day from dust, water into wine, and all these kind of things. But sooner or later, you have to give in to evidential science. There is... Nobody's ever seen a donkey talk. Nobody's ever seen a snake talk. Wine just doesn't simply turn into... Water doesn't turn into wine simply just by a wish. Life, in everyday life, these things don't happen, I'm sorry. And we have to live our lives in reality, in the real world. And we don't see it today. And therefore, how comes it happened thousands of years ago and it doesn't happen today?
Andy, can I ask you a question?
Have you
seen a big...
Say again,
Has anyone ever seen a Big Bang? The beginning of the universe? Clearly...
Okay, well, you tell me how God created the universe then. I'll turn it on its head. I'm asking you, how did God create the universe?
Well, see, what I just did was used your argument. You said everything had to be based on empirical evidence. Can you prove that using empirical evidence?
It's the best thing that science can come up with.
Andy, you made the statement that everything that we can know had to be from empirical evidence, and yet in one split second you just gave up empirical evidence. So you can't prove that
I did not. It was sorry. All right. It was yourself who talked about the Big Bang. It wasn't me. It was yourself.
No.
I wasn't talking about the Big Bang. I was talking about water into wine. I was talking about talking snakes and talking donkeys. And you decided to go on about the Big Bang. Why did you go there?
Yeah,
was it talking about?
Okay, the reason I went there was because you said that we can't believe these things because we've never seen them. We've never seen a Big Bang, so by your theory, it can't happen. It's impossible to happen.
Look, nobody's going to be there to see a Big Bang, are they? It's obvious. It's a stupid, dumb question.
No, there was someone.
Who on earth is going? What sort of question is that to ask? You ask a question, who's ever seen a Big Bang? Well, obviously nobody. But it's the best thing science can come up with, which is far better than the creation event, because there is no mechanism that can be demonstrated via creation. That's what I'm saying.
So the reality is there was someone there that saw it, and you reject, therefore,
okay, then who was that person?
God.
Who was that person?
God.
Okay, right, okay. What's your evidence?
He's written it down just like any other scientist would.
So we've got to take the Bible as fact and truth, have we? So that means that donkeys talk and snakes talk. Do you know how stupid that sounds?
You mean like parrots talking? You mean like the fact that here's the thing: you've in a very short amount of time.
Look, I will cut to the chase right now, okay? I can't be bothered with people who believe in talking snakes, who believe in talking donkeys can turn water into wine. There is no empirical evidence of this. There's no evidence that anything in the Bible is true. There's no evidence of God. There's no evidence of the life and death of Jesus Christ. That He died, and I'm sorry, it absolutely does not happen.
Andy, let's start with some basics, because I mean you've gone on a rabbit trail on a whole bunch of things. So first, you want scientific evidence, which is the study of the material world, to prove something that's immaterial. That is like me asking you to tell me how many feet 1 gallon of water weighs.
No.
It's the wrong measurement. You
No,
can't
it's
use
not. Nothing like that at all.
It,
You're trying to spin me a yarn now. I'm not having it.
Okay, let me ask you.
Talk to what it is, and I could talk that.
Andy, listen to me. Listen. Are you willing to talk to 4 men who believe that a donkey talked? If not, see you later, buddy.
Bye.
All right, because you're wasting our time.
Have a good one. I'll just close with this, Andy. Your reading of the Bible proves what the real issue is, because you reference Matthew 7. If you look at that in context, it doesn't say that you should not judge. It talks about the standard of judgment. Okay? The problem that you have is that you read the Bible out of context, and you're trying to make it say things it doesn't. And that's the thing. Keep reading, because it'll say. Okay, and read that, and then I also will want you to turn to the book of John, where it actually commands you to judge. You look up Matthew 7, and you're going to see that it doesn't say to judge. The one verse does, but if you read the context, he's going to say that the way that you judge is the way you're going to be judged. So it assumes that people will judge.
Well, I'll just read it out to you if you like.
Drop off. I'm going to drop off. Andy, I want you to know why I'm going to drop off. Because you're not interested in a reasonable discussion. You're interested in.
How can I talk to some people? I'm sorry if I'm going on, but how can I honestly have a conversation with people who believe in talking donkeys and talking snakes?
Well, you expect us to hold
and the 6 days of creation, where there's no evidence of that.
You believe that a reptile can become a bird, Andy. The thing that I'm trying to say to you is that you're not understanding what other people are saying. That's what makes this a frivolous use of our time.
I can't hear you.
Okay.
Is it okay if I interject and say something? I haven't really said anything
brother.
yet, but I have a couple of thoughts I'd like to share.
It was good seeing you guys.
Okay, so you can see the type of interactions going on here. Andrew Rappaport is going to drop out of this hangout, and in the next portion, when I upload it, you will see the beginning of Jason Peterson interacting with Andy Jack and others.